Hello friends, today we will discuss gradient of a scalar function and its physical significance. Meaning of physical significance is here the use of this gradient of a scalar in physics way. So what is the meaning or what is the use of this del phi in a physics that we are going to discuss. So it has been the beginning of this in this article for a scalar field, let's say phi, which is a function of x, y and z, and being a point function, it is also, if I am saying that this phi is a point function, then it will be also function of a position vector r bar, which is given by x I cap plus y j cap plus z k cap. This you already know. This we have already discussed. So the total differential of this phi due to infinite decimal increments in x as dx, in y as dy and in z as a dz at the same time of instant. So it is given by d phi, and which will be d phi is equals to dou phi upon dou x dx plus dou phi upon dou y dy plus dou phi upon dou z dz. This also we have already discussed, and this can be expressed, the RHS of this equation can be expressed as dot product of two vector, which is given by, now we will take this as a dot product of d phi upon dx I cap plus dou phi upon dou y j cap plus dou phi upon dou z k cap, and this is dotted with dx I cap plus dy j cap plus dz k cap. This also we have already discussed. Let's say this as equation 58. In last lecture we have already did all this discussion. So this vector quantity in the first bracket of this RHS is a result of the operation of del as a direct differentiator on the scalar phi, and this quantity is a vector quantity, this bracketed quantity which I have underlined. So it is called as a gradient of scalar phi or grad phi. So I can define this bracket as a grad phi, or it is also denoted by del phi, which will be equal to dou phi upon dou x I cap plus dou phi upon dou y j cap plus dou phi upon dou z k cap, which we are going to call as a del phi. How? We will take phi outside and we will operate this dou phi upon dou x I cap plus dou by dou y j cap plus dou by dou z k cap on the scalar function phi, and this is nothing but the del operator, that is differential operator. This also we have already discussed, which is denoted by del phi. So gradient phi is given by del phi, and this discussion was also done in the previous lecture. And this second bracket is nothing but the derivative of r. This is our r, and this second bracket is simply dr bar, which is dx I cap, we are taking derivative of this quantity, plus dy j cap, and last will be dz k cap. So this, if you substitute all these quantities in equation number 58, what we will get? We will get equation 58 as total differential of phi will be equal to grad phi dotted with dr bar. So it is a dot product of gradient phi and dr bar. Let's say equation 60. So this equation 60 shows that Cartesian components of grad phi are, what will be Cartesian components of this quantity? Dou phi upon dou x, dou phi upon dou y and dou phi upon dou z respectively. So this discussion already did in last lecture. Now we will discuss the physical significance of this gradient phi. In case of our scalar field phi, which is a locus of a point where phi has a definite constant value which gives level surface, that means our scalar function phi is a constant function. For example, if we took a scalar function of electrostatic potential, so in this situation, if we there will be considered the two spherical surfaces, let's say A and let's say surface B. So if we consider two spherical surfaces A and B of electrostatic potential due to the point charge plus Q, which is at the common center of these two surfaces. Therefore, the potential on this surface is taken as VA and for the surface B it is VB. So, the potential at all the points on this A will be same. So, this is known as a equipotential surface. And also for the surface B, potential at every point on this surface B is same. So this is also known as a equipotential surface. So A and B are the surfaces in electric field which are known as the equipotential surfaces. Now these surfaces do not intersect each other. Okay, so the potential of surface A will not be equal to potential at surface B because radius of surface A is not equals to radius of surface B. Means we have to show one surface quite larger. So let me represent it little bit larger. So one surface is smaller and one surface is larger and their radii are not equal. Therefore, their potentials will be different. But on the surface A, at each point, potential will be same. And on the surfaces B, potential at each point is same. So these are known as equipotential surface. And we have already discussed concept of equipotential surface. In case of temperature, it is known as isothermal surfaces. This also we have already discussed. Now, to understand this in detail, we will consider significance of grad phi. So to study this significance of gradient of phi, we will consider two level surfaces S1 and S2 which are very close to each other. Let me draw those surfaces on next page and then we will do further discussion. So here we have considered two surfaces S1 and S2 as we have shown in this figure. Now these surfaces are very close to each other. I have drawn it little far because on the page it will be very small diagram and it will get complicated. Therefore, I have drawn this distance little bit large, but these are very close to each other. Now the scalar function will have the value phi at the surface S1. So here the value of scalar function at surface S1 is phi and for surface S2 it is given by phi plus d phi. So there are two different values of scalar function on surface S1 and S2. For S1 it is phi and for S2 it is phi plus d phi. Now we will consider the origin O over here. So let's consider the origin O of this scalar function phi, so that this phi will be equivalent to the phi of x, y and z. Now we will consider any 2 points P and Q on the surface S1 and S2 respectively. So let's say we have point P over here on surface S1 and we are going to have point Q over here on the surface S2. So the 2 points P and Q on the surface S1 and S2 as shown in figure we have considered. Now during the movement from point P to point Q, the scalar function changes by the value d phi. Okay, therefore the on surface it is phi plus d phi. So when we are going from point P to point Q, the value of function is changing by the d phi, and this change of function of this scalar function phi from phi to d phi is given by, let's say our phi is changing from phi to d phi during the movement from point P to point Q, which is given by total differential of phi as a d phi, and we have already defined this d phi as dou phi upon dou x dx plus dou phi upon dou y dy plus dou phi upon dou z dz. This we have already defined in last few minutes. So now here, since our origin is O, now I will consider the position vector of point P is given by the vector which join the point P and O, and it is denoted by vector r bar. So position vector of point P is OP bar, which is given by r bar, and for point Q the vector joining this point O and point Q. So if we draw this vector which joins point O and point Q. So if you draw this vector, by mistake this line is drawn, please ignore this line. So if we join point O and Q, we will get position vector of point Q, which is given by OQ bar, and this is given by R plus dr. So position vector of point Q is given by R plus dr. So these are position vector of point P and point Q respectively. Now if you observe here, this is the direction of vector r bar, and if we join these two vectors or 2 points P and Q, so if you consider this vector OP bar, and along this OP there is another vector PQ, and the third vector which is joining OQ, this is nothing but the diagonal. So here we can apply triangle law of vector addition. So what is that triangle law of vector addition, which is given by, if you observe here, these two vectors are in same direction, these are in same order, and third vector is nothing but the tail of first vector and tip of second vector. So this will be diagonal, means we will get here OQ bar is equals to OP bar plus PQ bar. So if we apply triangle law to this triangle, this will be the addition of the two vector OP and PQ. Now you know the value of OP, which is r bar, plus the value of PQ that we don't know, and we know value of OQ that we have taken as r plus dr. So from this, if you find value of PQ bar, it will be r bar plus dr bar minus r bar. So this will get cancelled and you will get PQ bar as dr bar. Therefore, I can write this vector as dr bar. So according to triangle law, we have calculated this value, and this dr bar is nothing but, we have already defined it as dx I cap plus dy j cap plus dz k cap. Let's say this as equation 62, since what is our r bar? xi cap plus yj cap plus z k cap, which is position vector of point P. Okay, now if we consider the equation number 36, so in previous lecture we have discussed, according to equation 36, the RHS of this equation is defined as dot product of two vector. This we have already discussed. So this dot product is given by, we can write this d phi as dou phi upon dou x I cap plus dou phi upon dou y j cap plus dou phi upon dou z k cap, and this will be dotted with our another vector. I will write it on next line. So it is dot product of these two vector, which is given by dx I cap plus dy j cap plus dz k cap. So it is a dot product of these two vector, and we have just discussed it. This is nothing but gradient of phi, and it is dotted with the derivative of r bar, that is d r bar, that is nothing but our total differential d phi. And let's say this as equation number, this we will call as equation number 63, where this del gradient phi is also called as a del phi. So I can write this d phi as del bar phi or del phi, in short, dotted with dr bar, and 64 I will call this as equation 64, because grad phi denoted by del bar of phi or del phi, which is a differential operator defined in a Cartesian coordinate system, and its definition is what? Del phi is defined as, this also we have discussed, dou by dou x I cap plus dou by dou y j cap plus dou by dou z k cap. So this is the definition of del phi. Let's say equation number 65. So this is nothing but the definition of del phi. Now we will consider n cap as a unit vector which is normal to surface S1 at point P. So if we draw this n cap as a unit vector normal, that means it will be directed in the upward direction to, and it is normal to our surface S1. So this will be our n cap, and this is the direction of n cap, which is a unit vector normal to this surface S1 at point P. So this unit vector is in the direction of increase in the phi, because phi is increase from phi to phi plus d phi. Let's say the angle between PQ and n bar. So this is our vector PQ and this is vector n cap. So angle between these two vector is taken as a theta. Therefore we have considered angle between PQ bar and n cap or n bar unit vector. So I will write it as n cap. So angle between PQ bar and n cap is given by theta. Then our equation 64, according to this equation 64, we can write this dot product as, so this dot product can be written as product of magnitude of these two vector into angle between them, which is we have taken as theta, that means cos theta. This is the definition of dot product. So by using definition of dot product, we can say definition of dot product is what? If it is a bar dot b bar, then we can write it as ab cos theta, that is magnitude of a and b into angle between them. Similarly, here angle between these two vector we have considered as a theta. Therefore, this dot product can be written as, so here this can be written as d phi is equals to, now magnitude of del phi bar is del phi magnitude of dr bar is dr and angle of cosine, that is cos theta. So this is the change in 64 by using definition of dot product, and this we can write as d phi upon, let's take dr on LHS, it will get divide, and on RHS there will be del phi cos theta. Let's say this as equation 66. So here this term represent the space rate of change of phi with distance. Okay, so d phi upon dr is nothing but space rate of change of phi with distance. And when this value will be maximum, when cos theta is maximum. So what is value of maximum cos theta? Maximum value of cos theta is 1 when theta is 0, that is cos 0 is 1. So when this cos theta is 0, then at that point the space rate of change of phi with distance, that is d phi upon dr, will be maximum. So when this is maximum, or when your cos theta is 1, that is theta is 0, so the value of d phi upon dr, that is space rate of change of phi with distance, is maximum. This means when theta is 0 in the direction, this means what? It is in the direction of unit vector n cap, which is normal to S1, and this maximum value of space rate of change of phi with distance r is given by, put cos theta as 1 in this equation, that maximum value is nothing but d phi upon dr max. When cos theta is 1 means it will be equal to only del phi if you put cos theta as a 1, equation 68. So this is the maximum value of space rate of change of phi with distance r. In other words, we can say that the magnitude of this del phi is maximum space rate of change of phi at point, and it is directed along the normal to the surface, phi equals to constant through the point. So the increment in phi is 0 in the direction normal to del phi, that is along the level surface, as along the surface phi is constant. So from this we can draw 3 conclusions. So let's discuss those conclusions. So first conclusion is that if we took gradient of a scalar quantity or gradient of a scalar field, it is nothing but a vector field, means if you took del phi, vector field. And the second conclusion is that the vector at any point measures maximum space rate of increase of phi at that point, and it is directed along the normal. It is directed along the normal to that level surface at that point. This is second conclusion. This means what? If the vector at any point measures the maximum space of rate of increase of phi at that point, that means this phi will be maximum when your PQ is normal, means when this theta will 0. That is, if theta is 0, this PQ will coincide with n cap. That is, PQ bar and n cap are normal to each other, means phi and phi plus d phi, that is increase in phi, because phi is increased by d phi. So this increase in phi is maximum when this theta is 0. That is when the vector is directed along the normal to the surface at the point P. So this is meaning of our second conclusion. And third conclusion is that the gradient of scalar field is a physical concept which is independent of a physical system of the coordinate, means our gradient is invariant of coordinate system. You can choose any coordinate system, gradient won't change, means del phi will be same in all types of coordinate system, that is Cartesian, spherical polar or cylindrical or plane polar. So this is meaning of our third conclusion. And the fourth conclusion is based on the directional derivative. What are directional derivative? Concept of directional derivative is that the component of this del phi in any direction will give us the directional derivative of this phi in that direction. That is, physically, meaning of this del phi or directional derivative is nothing but it will represent space rate of change of phi in that direction. So this is, and in another word, it is called as a directional derivative. Now we will see some problems based on this concept of gradient of scalar or del phi. So first problem based on this is problem 12 from book, which is they have given us phi, which is 3x square y minus y cube z square, and they have asked us to find gradient of this phi at the point 1, minus 2 and 1. So first we have to find the gradient of phi, that is del phi, and we have to put the value of x, y, z as 1, minus 2 and 1 respectively. So let's find del phi. Now value of del is dou by dou x I cap plus dou by dou y j cap plus dou by dou z k cap. And what is our phi? Phi is given by 3x square y minus y cube z square. So if you operate each term on this phi, you can operate it as dou by dou x of this phi, that is 3x square y minus y cube z square I cap plus dou by dou y of same quantity 3x square y minus y cube z square plus dou by dou z, here there is j cap, and again dou by dou z of 3x square y minus y cube z square k cap. Now if you find derivative of each phi, each term, now here it is with respect to x, so this derivative will be, for first term it is 3x square, derivative will be 6x into y, here no x, so derivative of this term is 0, so this derivative is 6xy and I cap plus here derivative of this y is 1, that is 3x square, minus derivative of y cube is 3y square z square as it is into j cap, plus derivative of this first term with z is 0 since no z, and for this term it is minus 2z, that is we will get minus y cube as it is into 2z k cap. So this is nothing but the del phi. Now we have to find this del phi at which point? 1, minus 2 and 1. Means wherever there are x, y, z, you have to put 1, minus 2 and 1 respectively. So let's substitute. Instead of x, we have to put 1. What is our y? Minus 2 I cap plus 3 value of x square, that is 1 square, minus 3. What is y? Minus 2. And what is z? 1 j cap plus here minus 2 into what is y? Minus 2 cube into 1 and this into k cap. So if you calculate this, you will get here minus 12 I cap plus here minus 2 square is 4. 4 into 3, 12. That is minus 12 and plus 3. How much it will remain? The subtraction will be minus 9 into j cap, and here minus 2 into minus 2, that will be, now here minus 2 cube is minus 8 into minus 2, that is minus 16, and here what is the value of z? So z is plus 1. So in your textbook they have substituted z as minus 1, which is wrong. So value of z they have given us is, sorry, I have made mistake. in textbook this is the problem, value of z is -1. So here you have to put instead of z as -1. So here we will get minus. So in other terms there is minus over here. So no difference because -1 square is again +1. So this -1 into this -8 into -2. So overall this will become -16 k cap. I'm sorry for this mistake. By mistake I written here +1. In problem it is -1. So we have to substitute z as a -1. Please make those corrections. And this is nothing but the value of del phi at a given point and solution of problem number 12. Next problem is problem number 13, in which they have given us u, v, w, and they have asked us to prove that the gradient of u, gradient of v, and gradient of w are coplanar. Means they have asked us to show that gradient of these three physical scalar quantity, that is u, v, w, is nothing but coplanar. Now we know that if three vectors are coplanar, then their scalar triple product is 0. Therefore, first we have to find gradient of u, gradient of v, gradient of w, and we have to take its dot product and we have to calculate that dot product equal to 0. So let's start solution. First we will find gradient of u, that is grad u. So gradient of u will be calculated as dou by dou x I cap plus dou by dou y j cap plus dou by dou z k cap. Now what is u? X plus y plus z. Means here first you have to find dou by dou x of x plus y plus z I cap plus dou by dou y of x plus y plus z j cap plus dou by dou z of x plus y plus z k cap. So here if you calculate this gradient, you will get here derivative will be only 1 and these two terms will be 0 since it is with respect to x, that is only I cap. Here also derivative will be only 1 of y and for these two term it is 0. Similarly here derivative of z will be 1 and x and y will be 0, that is I cap plus j cap plus k cap. So this is our gradient of u. In the same way you have to find gradient of v and gradient of w. So gradient of v is calculated as dou by dou x of I cap plus dou by dou y of j cap plus dou by dou z of k cap of v, which is x square plus y square plus z square. And if you calculate this derivative, now I will write it directly. I should expect this derivative from you, so I am not going to explain. So this derivative will be 2x I cap plus 2y j cap plus 2z k cap. And derivative or gradient of w, you have to find it by your own. So this gradient of w comes to be z plus y I cap plus z plus x j cap plus y plus x k cap. Now they have asked us to show that these three vectors are coplanar, means their scalar triple product should be 0. That is gradient of u dotted with gradient of v cross gradient of w is equal to 0. So we have to find this. So let's calculate. Let's substitute. Now scalar triple product is nothing but the determinant of those three vector. So determinant of those three vector is taken as, here coefficients are 1, 1, 1. Here coefficients are 2x, 2y, 2z, and here they are these brackets. So let's write 1, 1, 1. Coefficient of grad v are 2x, 2y, 2z, and for w it is z plus y, then z plus x and y plus x. Now here we will take 2 common from this row. Now you should know the operations based on determinant. You have already studied this in your 12th standard. So I will take 2 common from second row and I can write this as 1, 1, 1 x, y, z since 2 is taken common, and x plus y, z plus x and y plus x. Now here we will replace second row by adding the third row in it. Means we will write this second row added with third row and that will be our resultant second row. So we will get here 2 into 1, 1, 1, and here now let me write it at little bit distance because that rows are larger. Now we have to take addition of these 2 rows and it is resultant of second row. So it is giving us second row. That means here we will get one correction. This is z. By mistake I written it here x. So this is z. Make this correction. So here this addition of this 2 row will be here x plus y plus z. Again x plus y plus z, and here also x plus y plus z, and third row as it is z plus y, z plus x and y plus x. So this is the operation we apply on the second row, which is converted as addition of second and first row. Now we will take this x, y, z common throughout the row. We will get here 2 into x plus y plus z. In determinant we will get 1, 1, 1. Here also 1, 1, 1. And what is remaining here? Z plus y, z plus x and y plus x. And if you find this determinant, we will get here 2x plus y plus z into now 1 into subtraction of y plus x minus z minus x minus 1 into y plus x minus z minus y plus 1 into z plus x minus z minus y. Here minus x cancels, minus y cancel, and here minus z is get cancelled, and what is remaining? 2x plus y plus z. Here in bracket what is remaining here? Y minus z. Here minus x and plus z, and here what is remaining? Plus x minus y. So this plus y minus y cancel, plus z minus z cancel, plus x minus x cancel, means 0, and this product is also 0. So we got the scalar triple product of this gradient as 0. Hence we can say that the 3 vector gradient of u, gradient of v and gradient of w are coplanar since their dot product is 0. So this is solution for problem 13. Now problem 14 is, they have given a phi function, that is scalar function. They have asked us to find gradient and its modulus, that is magnitude of gradient phi at this point. So first we have to find del phi. So how to find del phi? Dou by dou x I cap plus dou by dou y j cap plus dou by dou z k cap, and what is our phi? 2x z raised to 4 minus x square y. Now it is expected that you can calculate this gradient of phi. So directly I will write the value of this gradient of phi. So you have to calculate it by your own. So this is gradient of phi. You have to calculate it by your own. I am not going to explain this. Now you should be expert in this. So we got grad phi. Now they have asked us to find this grad phi at this point. So grad phi at 2, minus 2 and 1 means x, y, z are taken as 2, minus 2 and 1. So let's substitute x as 2, y as minus 2 and z as 1 in this equation. So this is the substitution, and if we do this calculation we will get here 2, now minus minus plus 2 into 2 into 2 8 plus 8 I cap plus minus 2 square is 4 j cap plus 8 into 2 16 into here it is minus z cube. So here z is negative, so we will get here again negative sign, that is minus 1 cube. That means this will become minus 16 k cap. So this is the value of del phi at this point. 8 plus 2 is 10 I cap plus 4 j cap minus 16 k cap. And if you find this is del phi at 2 minus 2 minus 1, and if you find its modulus, how to calculate modulus? Under root addition of square of all these three components, that is 10 square plus 4 square plus minus 16 square. If you calculate these squares and its addition, it comes to be 372, and root of 372 is nothing but 2 root 93. If you calculate this will be the solution to our problem number 14 and end of this lecture.